Okay, I'm going to grab a fresh cup of coffee, and I'll be right back. Feel free to chat.
Patty. Is anyone there?
Oh, yeah, we here. Merry Christmas to you.
Merry Christmas to you.
Did you eat good today? Have a good meal, maybe?
Oh, yeah. And yourself?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Oh,
Did
that's
manage.
good.
Yeah.
Pardon
Hope
me?
everyone else. I said absolutely, and hope everyone else did manage at least that much.
Mm-hmm.
Does anybody else have a situation where they burn your mouth so you can't even taste your food?
Yeah, it usually starts at the tip of your tongue, which your taste buds are on your tongue, and it kind of destroys a lot of flavorful things.
No, I know. That's all I had. It was just no taste, basically.
Yeah. Your tongue has hair on it. I have found that if you take a paper towel, Kleenex, something like that, and wipe the tongue really well around where your taste buds are, generally it comes back pretty quick.
Richard?
Yes.
Yeah, I was wondering, I think you mentioned, I'm not sure if I heard right when you were talking, I believe you had mentioned something about generators and maybe turn into a weapon.
Yeah, there's a lot of proof out there that there are generators, and these generators generate frequencies as well as pulses, and they can do the microwaving or frequencies from these generators. They need a power source apparently sometimes, and they are mobile from what I understand. But you're probably talking about the other Richard. There's another Richard that comes on the calls too. And
I think I'm talking about you.
Okay.
Yeah. mentioned it, yeah. Now, what about like a refrigerator? Do they do anything to refrigerators?
Oh, well, they can do anything with your electronics. Anything electronics, they can send pulses and frequencies through and to. And some people say, well, cut off your breakers, but, well, others say that that doesn't really work. By the time we find anything that might help, it seems that they either found a way around it or it just simply didn't work to start with. But refrigerators are an electrical component, and some of them are smart refrigerators, smart air conditioning, smart televisions, computers, anything that works off of the Wi-Fi and 5G and is hooked to your smart meters, because people seem to forget that you do have a smart meter also. Most people own their homes now, and it's a way to send the stuff and spread the stuff like a spider web throughout the community, and it's also a way to do video and audio of everything going on in the home and communities, and they're putting up in the cities. But yeah, any of your appliances can be used.
What do you mean? What do you mean by spider web?
Well, it's something you can't see. You don't really see it, but it's there with this Wi-Fi and the 5G and the smart meters and all the things that run through your home and neighborhood. It's there. You just can't see it, and it spreads like a spider web once they put this thing on this pole and smart meter on your house, and you go buy a new appliance because your other one was murdered or just plain died. You're connecting to all of these ways in the air, and it's kind of like back in the old day. We used to have what we called a CB radio, and you had to have a antenna. You could put it on your car. It would run off the 12 volt, but anywhere you went, that antenna would pick up things in the air that, well, you didn't see. And so does your radio and television, and it's spread all out there throughout the air.
Yeah, the only thing that I can add to that a little bit is the fact that I've been through power failures for plus 20 hours, and the voice-to-skull and attacks continued throughout that period. But I will say that there is dirty electricity out there that makes a lot of people sick. And if you could see, as Richard has said, all the frequencies that man has created, especially in the last 100 years, you wouldn't be able to see your hand in front of your face. It would just be like looking at noise on a television set.
Frank, you know what that dirty energy actually is? It's radio frequency. And what they're doing is they're pulsing into the meters. And I had my meter go from like 10 hertz up to 1,500.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
It's power line communications. It starts out at 117 hertz, and that is the interface between the power line communication and your local Unix, whatever they're using today. Unix probably is networking system. And that's why, as Richard has said, there is a smart grid, simply because of power line communication. They can tell when one cell of a solar panel is about ready to go.
Yep. Jeez. Unbelievable.
Welcome back, 4400.
Thank you. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you, too.
Thank you.
I didn't have any particular topic picked out for tonight, so it's open mic once again, and you guys can sort of like just grab the floor, and when you're through with it, let it go, and we'll leave it as such.
Frank, I believe you had mentioned something about wall climbing. I'm not sure if that's the right term or not. What is that?
What was the term?
I believe it's wall, W-A-L, climbing, like climbing up a ladder, climb. I don't know.
Wall climbing. It wasn't me.
It wasn't you. Oh, I apologize. Okay. I stayed in a motel room for about a week, and I'm just curious. Like the first 2 days were okay, and I was with my son, and then one day my son and I went out, and when we came back, I started getting sick again. Is there something that can be added to a room to make EMS and all that more intense?
I would have to say at this point in time, no. But one of the things that we are researching is power line communication. Now, this would enable a perp to dial up the physical address wherever you are, and that would allow them access to that area. But if it's the normal electronic attacks, they will follow you in real time anywhere that you go.
Who will follow you, Frank?
What's that?
Who will follow you?
Who will follow me? It's not necessarily who, it is what.
What is it? Who? Hey.
It is satellite-based, number one. Number two, it can lock onto you, and you will get remote neural monitoring, such as I have had for the last 8+ years.
You're not alone, Frank.
And that would be also classed as V2K, or voice to skull.
Yeah.
Did that answer your question, sir?
Yes, sir.
Hey, Frank.
Hi.
I have a question.
Sure.
Hi, this is Lily. I'm trying to do like a little bit of a timeline just for my own. Like, there's so much information that conflicts out there, and I was just curious. What's your opinion as to the earliest, absolute earliest, compared to all the TIs you've ever spoken with, that remote neural monitoring or EMF radiation and thought manipulation, what's the earliest that could have taken place on American people by anybody?
Okay, that's kind of a broad question, but I'll answer
I'm
it.
sorry. What's your best opinion? Like the earliest that mind manipulation could have, not the MK Ultra, I'm talking like the invisible, you know what I mean, the EMF stuff.
Well, in the 1960s until, let me see, sometime in 2000, they used a computer program called the Body Electric. And from then on, like I say, sometime in the early 2000s, they used silent sound by a company, a corporation that you can look up. It's Silent Sound Incorporated. And then they moved on to a series of DARPA programs. And one of them was released to the psychiatric community and was spread like wildfire. And that was DARPA's Electrics, E-L-E-C-T capital R-X. And that had several different modules. And the reason why it caught my eye immediately is it has a ASMR module, which can be equated to a sexual component. And if you Google ASMR, it's people speaking in very soft voices, trying to stimulate your mind in such a manner as that you are susceptible or more susceptible to many different kinds of things. But what they insert here is a sexual connotation, because this program, when it was delivered to the state hospitals, incorporated people who were sexually deficient, and they were trying to bring back their sexual capabilities, if you will. And 2015 is the last patent, I think, that I've seen on electrics, and I will have to take a look further. If you go to Targeted Massachusetts and go to patents, all the patents have been arranged in such a manner that they're all hyperlinked. So you can not only open the patent, but you can look at the inventors. The updates are also in hyperlinks so that you can follow the patent to current date.
Thank you. Have you read where the satellites are weaponized to have remote neural monitoring ability and manipulation?
Yes, Richard Lighthouse has located that in the form of a satellite.
Yeah.
Now, I realize this, that it's international law that no satellite can be weaponized. Nothing weaponized can be in space. So there are a number of different countries, at least 3 that I can think of, China, the U.S., and the UK, that are violating that, and I'm sure Russia is too, because I just learned that China has a mind-reading capable satellite. Hi, Anonymous. Your mic is open, and we are trying to have a discussion, and it's very distracting. So I just muted you. When you rectify the problem, unmute yourself and join back in the conversation. Well, we've got 28 people for Christmas night. That's not too bad. I figured I'd open up tonight and catch everybody that's not with their family or such as myself. But I figured I'd reach out. But yes, remote neural monitoring is the deadly one. That's the one that drives people to suicide, such as Kim Straub. She related on 2 occasions on RBN that she was getting remote neural monitoring. And that was in our not too distant past at all. That was in October.
Hi, Frank. It's Lily again. I'm sorry. I got disconnected earlier on, and you had just started to talk about China, and then I got disconnected. So I apologize. I was going somewhere with my questions about dates and times and stuff like that. So
okay.
I apologize.
Not a problem. China, I just learned, I think 2 months ago, China has a satellite capable of sending out a mind-reading wave.
Wow. That's what I had read that too somewhere. I also read that China shot down an American satellite in 2007.
Yeah, China will do anything and ask questions later. That's the way China is. And I don't believe they're going to change.
Frank.
Hello?
Frank.
Yes.
I've been trying to call you, and I understand, why you're not answering, because I've made enemies on here, and people don't like me, and maybe they rightfully so, because I come across as a jerk. But I've been trying to call you lately, and you don't want to pick up the phone.
Well, the reasoning behind that is, if I answer your call at 3 or 4 in the morning, and I get an earful of SHIT, I'm not going to be taking your call until you apologize for it.
I know, and I know. I want you to know. I really, truly am sorry. But I don't know. I guess maybe I won't call you no more.
Well, my reasoning, I was trying to get a hold of Sue Maya, and you got upset when you thought there was somebody else on the phone, and I was trying to get Sue Maya on the line with me because you seemed like you were in rough shape. But if you don't want to call me anymore, that's your decision. But if you do,
I just want you to know that even when I'm silent on these calls, I take a great a benefit from this listening to these calls. And I know I'm obnoxious, and maybe I should just shut up and only listen. But I want you to know that, the calls, they give me help, because I didn't ask to be involved in this,
yeah,
and
none of us have.
They pick you, and I don't know. I want you to know that.
You're always welcome to call. and you're always welcome to join in on this call, and I'm sure many others. Okay.
I had somebody else call me, so I was having a conversation with someone just now, but I started waiting to call your call at like 8. I had to wait. It seemed like an eternity. And I was like, man, this call doesn't start for another hour.
We were on the air at 8.
But someone called me, and thankfully I was able to sit there and have a conversation with this person, but I've really been waiting all night, to call y'all. And I don't know, man.
We were on the air at 8 o'clock, actually 5 minutes of 8, and we showed a video. You probably couldn't, you wouldn't be able to get through to anyone until 9. That's a fact, but we were on the air at 5 minutes of 8.
All right. I mean, you could get back to the call. I'm not sit here and try to distract people, but I know people, they don't like me, and I did it to my own self.
Well, everybody, this is a place where you come to sound off, and we appreciate that, and nobody dislikes you. They probably don't like it when you disrupt. And if you just, lay back and listen to the call and comment once in a while, hey, that's great.
I don't have it in me to take my own life. I just know that's not something I'll ever do. I cannot commit suicide. But,
okay, well, I was pretty worried about you, and that's why I called Sue Maya. But
these people, they want me to do that, and I don't know, man.
The best thing you can do is listen here, learn as much as you can. We have a lot of talented people frequent this call. And, comment, ask questions,
Yeah. I mean, you're right. I don't know.
Okay, to get back to, who was it, Lenny or Lizzie? Anonymous? Okay, can I get back to the woman who I was speaking to?
Yeah, that was Lily before.
Oh, okay. Hi, Sue. So,
hi.
Did you get?
I heard you mention my name, so I unmuted myself.
Okay, I tried to call you the other night when, and all I got was your answering machine. So.
Oh, yeah, and I got a new phone and a new phone number, so I had to lose all my contacts.
Oh, that's a bummer.
It's all right. No, it's kind of nice to start fresh once in a while.
Yeah, I suppose.
In fact, today there's astrologically there's a new moon, and the sun and moon and Jupiter are all together tonight. But with the clouds, it might be hard to see. New moon is dark. But that is kind of a special conjunction of planets. It's supposed to be positive, and they're all in trine to Uranus and Taurus. So there's a lot of change, and change is okay. And letting go of things that you don't need anymore is okay. And starting fresh, this is the time, especially because we have a new year coming and a new decade, actually. So maybe people can think about what they're willing to release, make room for something different and new coming in. I certainly would like to release all the torture that comes our way. But besides that, I think we can do personal house cleaning, mental house cleaning. That's just kind of what I was thinking about today.
Hey. Thank you, Sue.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you very much, Sue.
You're welcome. I also know that this is a time of year where people are expected to be happy and joyful and chipper, and a lot of us are not in that place, and might seem like a big contrast between what everybody else is doing and what we're doing. So, the good news is that we don't have to pretend with each other to be happy and joyful and have everything fulfilled in our lives. We're not going out maybe buying new SUVs and exchanging big gifts, but we know that time change and we'll start fresh and tomorrow, next day.
Yeah,
I think people get depressed because of it.
Yeah, we're exchanging.
And I see everybody else having a good time. Big parties and fancy, engagement rings and stuff. I'm not there. And
like I waited like 2 hours just to listen to the call.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't feel so alone.
Yeah.
With the call. But I know sometimes I should keep my mouth shut, and I come on here and I want to fight with people. I always regret it. I never want to fight with people because this call gives me so much comfort. Just not being alone.
Yeah.
And I'll come on here a lot and start fights. I don't want to do that, but it just happens. And
it happens because you have a lot of anger because of the situation. It's not us. We're not the enemies. So you have to put your anger where it belongs and not with the people who are helping you. I know you regret it. I know it comes out unconsciously. But the thing that helps that is to turn the energy into something that you can be useful for everybody instead of antagonistic. If you find a way to help somebody who's on the call, you'll feel so much better. It gives you a reason to be alive.
I hear you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
I understand.
I know people get mad at me. They say that I'm taking over the call. I don't want to take over the call, man. I just don't know.
I know you're suffering like the rest of us.
I don't have it in me to take my own life. I cannot do that. And I feel like they're playing off of that. Because, if you could take your own life, why not? Why not do it? Fuck it.
There's a lot of reasons.
Why not? Why not just take your own life? Why do you need to be here in this living hell? But I can't do it. And I
We have a
don't
war
know.
to fight.
I don't know. I
This
can't
is
do it.
wartime. We have a war to fight.
Yeah. That's right. This is a mind
You know,
war.
like I miss my brothers. You know, like, I know I've said this on the calls before, like, my two older brothers were killed. Some days I actually miss them. I don't know.
It's natural to feel that.
You know, like, where I live, I've been renting a room here for about a year. And I specifically remembered seeing this guy across the street. He moved in. And I said to myself, why is this guy moving in here? Like, and my point being is, like, I'm not working now, but when I was working, you never knew when I was going to come home. I'd come home a different time every night. And I noticed that this guy was following me. You know, I don't know what my point is. I'm just babbling, I guess, right now, but the dude was, like, following me. And then I started to say to myself, well, let me look for this dude when I'm at the store. Like, I want to watch to see if I could see this guy. And then I noticed I would never see him. Only the pattern was within a mile of my house. I only would see the guy in the actual neighborhood. You know, like if I pulled up one day at 5:00, and then I pulled up the next day at 7:00, him and his wife would somehow be behind me. And then I'm thinking, like, one time, maybe you're paranoid, but when you start to see it, like, over and over again, you know, like, it ain't paranoia. I think they're following you. I don't know. I don't know what I'm trying to say. I'm just babbling right now. Maybe someone could come on here and tell me to be quiet, but, you know, I'm not dumb. Like, I don't know who that guy is, but he lives, like, right across the street. And then I'm thinking, like, these are criminals. Like, when you look at the guy, he looks like a dirtbag, like just some fucking dickhead. Like, and I'm thinking, like, these people are just straight criminals that got no other, like, sense in life. Like, they'll take a job working for whoever you want to call it, DARPA or the government, whoever you want to call it. Like, these people are just scumbags. And, like, you know, I'm not dumb. I'm a logical person. I said to myself, Alex, you're paranoid. Maybe
Alex?
you're paranoid. And I started to realize, I started to see the patterns. It ain't me being paranoid. Like, you see the people are straight gang stalkers. And, you know,
Alex.
Yeah.
Hi. I'm so sorry you're in so much pain right now. I just want you to know that I'm really, really sad for you, and I understand your pain. I do. And it's really horrible. It really
and I
is.
waited, and I waited 2 hours to hear you say that because I was so alone, and all I wanted to do, I wanted to just get connected to this call. And I said to myself, it's 7 o'clock. The call doesn't start till 9. And it felt like an eternity. But I don't know. I want you to know that I appreciate you saying that to me. It made me feel good to hear you say
Alex,
that.
Yeah, I'm so sad for you. Alex, how long have you had those feelings about people when that happens to you? How many years has that happened to you?
How many years has what happened?
When you encounter people and you feel like they're part of the gang stalking you, how long has that happened to you?
Well,
like neighbors and whatnot.
No, I'm 41 years old. I'll be 42. I'll be 42 in March. Now, I've mentioned this on calls before, but I had an addiction. There was a lot of things in my life where I knew I made the wrong decision. I knew that I couldn't blame nobody. It was my own fault. I made bad decisions. But there came a time in my life where I started to say to myself, maybe you need to approach this different, and maybe you need to man up, and maybe you need to be mature, and maybe you need to just grow up. Now, when I started to think that way, that's when I started to put the patterns together. Because I said to myself, you want to heal. You want to heal yourself. But if you're really a man, you got to look at it and you got to say to yourself, what role do I play? Am I involved in this somehow? Am I making bad decisions? And then when I started to think that way, I saw, there was a TI on here on these calls. I don't know who it was, but y'all know what I'm talking about. Like, the woman said, when you think you got it all figured out, go back another 15 or 20 years. So I've been seeing that, like, where I started to say to myself, well, maybe it didn't start. Maybe I got to go back further and keep going back and further in my life. But I know the time where I became conscious of shit. I was about 20. I know I've babbled. I'm not sure if that makes any kind of sense to you, but I'm able to look back in life and think like it goes back as far back as I could remember. Like, I'm talking about like when I was a baby. But like, I didn't really become aware of it until I was about 20. I was probably about age 20 when I started to say to myself, maybe you better change your ways. But now that I know what being a TI is, I could look back and it goes way back further. I don't know. I'm going to shut up, man. Like, does that make sense in any kind of way?
Yeah, you make sense. It's making sense, yeah. We all tend to have those similar experiences some of us do, when we first realize Is it me, or is this really happening, or when did it start? That kind of stuff. I just wondered when you started having feelings where you felt like people were involved somehow in your life without being involved in your life. But you know what happened to me, Alex, the other night?
No.
I was in a group full of people, and I was last night, right? Yeah, I was talking about this last night, and I really went into it last night, but I'll try to be brief. I was in a group full of people, and I've been shielding a lot. So I've been a TI for many, many, many years. And I was in a group full of people, and I realized that I could literally feel some type of technology manipulating my emotions. And they changed my emotions, almost like figuratively right in front of my own eyes, to make me feel differently when I was in that group of people. And I could tell the difference because I had been shielded all day. And then I only had a little bit of shielding on. And I literally felt this happen. And all of a sudden, it was really weird, Alex. All of a sudden, everybody, my perception, it was me that changed. The way I actually, it was like almost this, you remember when you'd go to the dentist and you'd have Novocaine and you went from feeling to not feeling, and right in between where it felt irritating because you weren't completely numb yet? That's how the electronics felt, but it was my emotions. So they started to tweak it's like a frequency tweaking, I think, where all of a sudden my feelings were going from peaceful and nice and calm or happy to one of they tried to make me feel afraid. And they tried to make me feel like I was emotionally pressured, like I had to take notice differently, and that things started to take on a different meaning, and it happened very quickly. And then I realized that the way I was perceiving what everybody was saying and how everybody was acting became different looking to my perception. And
Are you saying
mm-hmm.
we are in 2019.
Right.
Do you think that maybe the technology has changed, for example, from 10 years ago? Because sometimes I think like maybe it's intensified now because of this day and age we live in.
Well, I think
maybe it wasn't as clarified. Like, if you were to ask me 15 years ago, mm-hmm. Alex, what's your opinion on being a TI? Maybe I wasn't aware of it then.
Right.
Because the technology wasn't as intense. Is that what you're saying? Is that what you're saying?
Kind of. Close. I'm kind of saying that. What I'm trying to explain is I watched them try to make me feel uncomfortable and startled and afraid. They started to making me feel like these people were somehow, their words would take on different meaning by the way they actually could capture my heartstrings, so to speak. So did you ever hear something really important and your brain just kind of listens intently on what's being said? So they would literally take certain words and make them have more meaning. So all of a sudden I realized that this could very easily be misconstrued by me, that these people were doing this to me. I realized that it was the technology making me believe that these people were doing something to me. And it made me afraid, and I started bawling, okay, because I love people I'm with, and I'm like, these people are not doing this to me. They are doing this to my perception to cause like a division between me and people, me and my neighbors, me and I'll go to the grocery store. That's been my experience. And now I'm starting to see the same pattern with the gang stalking. Like, I was in my car and one time, and I could literally I felt the cars going by me, I could actually almost feel the pressure, like it felt like they were trying to do something to me because my perception of those cars changed. Then I have, like, the next day, I'll be going down the road and the cars will not affect me and they're behaving the same way, but they're affecting me normally. So then I'm starting to realize that it's like the technology is changing my perception so that they can isolate me, make me afraid of people, and so that I won't. It'll cause problems.
Let me say this.
Okay.
Let me say this
What?
to you. Like, this is gonna sound arrogant.
Okay.
This is gonna sound very arrogant.
Okay.
But I am smarter than a psychologist.
Okay.
Like, I know what to say and not to say.
All right.
To a doctor.
All right.
Like, I'm not a dumb person. Like, I know what to say and not to say. And even growing up in the system, quote unquote, there's just certain things. There's certain things you don't.
Okay, $10.
There's certain things you don't say to no doctor.
You owe me
gotta
$10, you know that.
You gotta be an idiot if you were gonna tell a psychiatrist you were thinking of killing yourself. Like, you gotta be a dummy.
Okay, go home.
Now, what they're doing with me, they're playing like
Hey, James,
mental game.
I hear you. I think you need to mute. Lico. We can hear you.
Who?
James Lico. I think it was him.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt. Hey, Alex. I'm going to offer you some unsolicited advice. You can tell me to shove it. But listen, a lot of people here care about you, even though it may not feel like it sometimes. And the thing that really has helped me, could help you, when you're feeling like this has gone on too long, you get down and out over it, like today was a bad day for you. It's very helpful if you take a step towards activism to help get it exposed. Now, maybe you do that already, I don't know, but that keeps things moving. When I'm really angry at the perps for what they were really bad today to me on Christmas Day. My God. So what I'm saying to you is I'll sit down at the computer and I will write a letter, or I'll email a group, an acronym agency like CIA. I do them a lot. I will not give the luxury of that to the FBI because, I pretty much hate their guts because that's who started my targeting. But what I'm saying to you...
What, the FBI?
Yeah, and that doesn't matter, It really, who started it, who's doing it now, none of that matters. What matters is this is going on, and it's not supposed to. And what you can do to redirect that energy, and Sue was talking about redirecting your energy. I think that's what you meant. You need to redirect the energy, turn something really bad into something good. And that's the ultimate to
I could hear someone just, they were talking. People don't like me for whatever reason. They hate me, and everything you're saying is true. Everything you're saying is true, but I could hear those people. They chimed in a minute ago, and they said bad things.
Oh,
they don't like me.
No, I think he was muted. I don't think he was talking about you. I really don't. That can happen, though. But listen, not everybody dislikes you. There are people on these calls that don't like me, Alex. What I do is I shake it off. I go ahead and continue to expose this for all that I have. So what I'm asking you as a co-person that has been targeted and treated like shit and dehumanized, I'm asking you to put your energy into helping all of us, because if you help all of us, you help yourself the most. What do you think about what I'm saying? Stay focused. What do you think about what I'm trying to tell you, Alex? I think you need to heal, and I think it's really important, and I think you need to direct your energy into helping the whole group. And you do that by several different methods, whatever works for you, and you do it within the confines of the man-made law. And so that I'm trying to explain to you, Alex, when you sit around and you say, and I'm trying to be as loving as I can with this, but I'm a matter-of-fact person. So what I'm saying, when you sit around and affirm to yourself over and over, people don't like me, people don't like me, I know that I turn people off, people don't like me, well, then you're making that happen. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. And it's not, Frank is like a really busy guy, and he does answer calls, but Alex, people can't sit by the phone and just in case somebody's sad, then you need to call somebody else too when you can't get a hold of Frank. You need to think about setting up a better system for yourself when you get in this way, so you don't feel so sad. And you have every right to feel sad, Alex. You have every right to feel righteously angry. You have every right. But you know what? That doesn't help get rid of this whole thing. Sometimes it helps get rid of this anger, energy, and everything. But people do like you, Alex. And people do want to hear you, but do you hear what I'm saying? Do you hear what I'm saying?
Yeah, I feel you. I respect you for being real, because there's a lot of people listening to these calls right now that would not tell me what you just told me. And I respect you for being real. And there's people on here that would never talk that way to me. They would tell me the opposite. And I don't know.
Hang in there, Alex, and try to think when your thoughts are going round and round about, and you're sad, and you had every right to feel that way today. We're all isolated in it, and it can be very sad. And what I find is I redirect my energy into prayer. I redirect my energy into listening to some decent affirmations. I redirect my energy into writing. When I'm really mad, I'll just bang on the typewriter, and I type really fast. And I can,
I can't comprehend how one human being would point an electronic weapon at another human being.
Well,
I cannot make no sense out of that.
Alex, it's not okay. So this is what I was where I was headed,
and
I agree with you.
People are fucking
I agree with you,
sick.
Alex, can you hear me? Alex,
you're a moderator.
No, I am.
Alex, can you hear me?
I recognize the voice, but I can't tell who it is.
Oh, my name is Lily. I was talking to you earlier. What I was trying to share with you is that the people pointing this at your head want you to think it's your neighbor. They're trying to make you hate your neighbor, go after your neighbor, and cause a fuss that you get in trouble. Okay.
Well,
And
one of the patterns I realized.
Sometimes it is the neighbor.
But one of the patterns I realized is the stalking